Hi, my name is Ron and I'm with ClassicBugParts.com, and we're going to do a short video on how to install one of our upgrades for the 58 to 79 classic Volkswagens. Now we're going to start with the standard clutch upgrade, but first we're going to show you what you have in your car right now and why that needs to be changed. If you look at this, you'll see that this is what you have in there with the clutch shaft right now, and here is what the clutch cable would look like. And it's when you move the cable back and forth, we call this a hook and ladder design, and when you're moving it back and forth, you're causing the materials to wear out. In other words, it's like taking a file and filing the surface area out on either the hook or also the cable too at the same time, and eventually what's going to happen is that the cable is going to go ahead and either cut itself off, or you'll see what happens to the clutch shaft itself. Now we've come out with an upgrade, and what we've done is we've machine ground the shaft, which is better than what is in the car right now, so that way it's back to factory specs. And we've taken a chrome moly pin, welded it onto the crank arm, and now we're using a brass sleeve on the other side, and what we're doing is we're changing the direction of the cable. So now it's going to mount sideways, so it's going to roll. It'll be like a steam locomotive that rolls around friction free, so you won't have a problem with this area again. Now we're going to go ahead and go through just to show you a little bit of how to go ahead and put it and install it into the car. And the first thing you want to do is that you want to go ahead and disengage the accelerator. It has an arm to a roller pedal that mounts right here, and they call that the Z-bar linkage that goes in here. Now they also have the option of having a roller ball. You may have that on your car, so if you do, at least you'll have an idea what we're talking about, but that has to be disengaged. It doesn't have to be removed, but it has to be disengaged so you can get access to the very back. So what you'll do is you'll disconnect the barrel nut in the very back and take it out. It'll just set to the side, and while you're there you want to jack the car up and you want to disengage the clutch cable from the transmission, and so that way when you take the cluster out, it'll all come out together. Now to remove it, what you're going to do is you're going to take the two mounting bolts out, and you may want to go ahead and take the master cylinder control arm out of the pedal assembly itself. It mounts pretty much this way here with a pin and a loop over the top. It's a little bit different when we get into the 67 to 79, but we'll talk about that later in another video. But take that out and it's out of the way. Now once you've taken the two bolts out, you want to wiggle the unit out, and you want to take it over to a bench, maybe to a vise. If you don't have a vise, maybe get one of your friends to help you, because you're going to really need to have two people to do this. And you want to go ahead and use a drift punch similar to this and punch the pin out, okay, and that pin's going to be this one here, right there. Punch it on out, and then you're going to reposition the cluster so that now you can go ahead and take it and you can pound the shaft out of the cluster itself. Now it's going to be a little difficult because it's been in there for a long time and you're going to have some dried grease in there, but you'll be able to get it out. Then you want to clean the cluster out as much as you possibly can, and then you want to take the unit that's provided and you want to grease the unit up. Grease is grease, so it doesn't make a difference what brand you're dealing with. Put a little grease around the brass sleeve at the same time. You're going to go ahead and push the new one in place, and then what you're going to do is you're going to support one end of it, and you're going to put your clutch pedal back on, and then you want to tap it in place until the holes line up, and then you want to take the pin that you took out and you want to go ahead and pound it back in until it's flush, and that part will assemble the cluster itself. Now when you come back to the car, you'll put the cluster onto the pin, and then you're going to pull the cable out of the tunnel, and then you're going to attach it to this will be your cluster, attach it to the pedal itself with the 11 millimeter wrench, tighten down the nylon lock with the washer on top of the brass sleeve. Now you're ready to go ahead and push the pedal assembly back into place. Now you're going to have a brake spring that sets right over here, so you want to be able to make sure that is put into position before you put the mounting bolts in. Once the mounting bolts are in, then you want to come back and you want to tighten everything up with a ratchet or a spanner wrench, something of that nature there. Once that is set, then you want to come over here to where the brake pedal is at, and you want to go ahead and reinstall the control arm for the master cylinder and put the pin in and put the loop over the top. That way that portion is already done, and you'll have a return spring on your brake pedal. Then I would suggest hooking back up your accelerator, putting the Z-bar linkage back onto the roller ball here, or this should already still be on there, so you won't have to worry about that. That's going to still be there. Once that is set up, then go back to the very back of the car and then set up the accelerator cable, pull it through the barrel nut in the very back, tighten it down. Now your accelerator pedal will be where it's supposed to be. And then underneath the car, remember we've already attached this to the clutch shaft itself. This is what the tunnel would be, so you don't see that. It won't come off. But you want to go ahead now and adjust, put the nut on the back where the transmission control arm is at, tighten it up, and give yourself about a 1/2 inch worth of play to deal with, 1/2 inch to 3/4 play to deal with. Now you're ready to go ahead and test drive your automobile. You'll get a chance to see how it performs. It will have a modern feel similar to what you're driving today with the cars we have. I suggest that you now go to your Bentley book. It's under Brakes and Wheels. Get a chance to go ahead and read how to take it out and install the clutch shaft, put it back in again. As a refresher, repetition is mother of retention. It will help you to install this in a way that will make it just a little bit easier for you. That is going to conclude the video. We want to thank you so very much for watching. And please go to our website, ClassicBugParts.com, and you'll get a chance to see some of our other amazing products that we make. Bye-bye.